am so upset about the lack of having a responsive government that truly represents the people and its interests. I'm so tired of corporate America really running the United States, and I think that this movement, Occupy, has really amplified and shown us how little power and voice the people of this country really have. And I feel like we've all been going along sort of colluding and in quiet apathy about what's been going on, and then this movement started, and we've seen how hard they're hitting back. You know, we've seen the violence in the streets, the lack of any kind of political response to this. I can't believe right now in Congress how they're still fighting about extending the tax credit to the middle class, and yet they're openly saying that, you know, they will never support a tax, you know, to tax the millionaires, but they won't give the middle class this tax break, which is absolutely ridiculous. They interviewed a bunch of millionaires, and in the 1%, they all said, tax us. We need to be taxed. We're willing to be taxed. We're patriots. We want to help out this country. And still, there's so much resistance in Congress. So I don't know where it comes from. Well, I assume it comes from corporate America. But I think unless all of us start to stand up everywhere in the United States and globally, you know, nothing's going to change ever.
Whether it's childcare, whether it's schools, education, health, the country is years, centuries behind, and I'm here to support I'm so proud of the occupiers.
The corporations, banks, etc., have taken this country over, and they are running the country. They are not elected, and somehow that doesn't seem to bother them at all. And yet, they will say, "Well, we are good Americans, and we carry the flag around, and we have a little lapel button and all that." And I say to myself, okay, if we really do need to think about every person. I'm thinking this is such a strange time. It's just before Christmas, and Thanksgiving and people are generous and, you know, giving money and bringing food here and bringing food there. And then I say to myself, and what happens in January? People are still hungry, people are still without work, people are still careless, dishonest, corrupt, and it's okay until next Thanksgiving and Christmas. We need to speak up for justice and not just sort of hope the whole thing will go away and be comfortable at home. But stand up. If you are a citizen, whether it's this country or the world, you are a citizen and you have a responsibility to the rest of the people in the world.
I'm a bread baker. I mean, I've been involved in protests for a while. Back in 2003, when we went to war with Iraq, I went out protesting, and a lot of it, I was kind of angry with the state of the country and the government at the time, but I felt like there was a lot of I feel like people really, you know, focused on the government and looked at the government as bad, and I mean, I can't disagree with that, but I felt like that wasn't the biggest issue. I felt like the biggest issue was the economic system we lived in. So when I saw that people were organizing a protest against Wall Street, I was excited. I felt like there was people that were getting it right, were focusing on, you know, the right topic. I don't necessarily know that, you know, going out and sitting out in front of Wall Street is necessarily effective. You know, I don't know that creates, you know, obviously Wall Street's not going to just change because you're standing outside there, but I liked the idea because it forced a group of people to sit and talk and sort of, you know, create their own smaller microcosm of democracy, you know, and it was inspiring to see that. And that's why I came out here, you know, to get involved more in this community and do what I can to be a part of the democratic process right here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I've been very concerned about the gross inequality of wealth in the country. When so much of our country's wealth has been pulled to the top, it leaves too little for the rest of the country, for the infrastructure, for the people who live here, for the safety net that needs to be in place for many of our people. So I'm doing what I can do. I really like the emphasis on supporting local businesses, and we'll take that idea back to my group to have signs supporting our local business. It's very important.
I've sort of been lately more involved with Occupy Portland, and they've been very brave. They've made their last stand. I went to the city council meeting on Wednesday, and it was very, very moving to hear the stories of all kinds of people working, people who've been homeless for decades. They lost their bid to stay, so they have like 4 more days, I believe, before they have to before they'll be kicked out. People could come down and support their last stand. It would be great.
I'm a doctor. I'm here because of healthcare corporate profits going to the 1% and healthcare being denied to many, many people in this country. I'm also here because I support all of Occupy Wall Street's goals to call attention to corporate greed.
We need people every week. Every Saturday we need people.